Before anything else, I want to ask you for something simple, something quiet. Stay here with me for a moment. Not to solve anything, not to pretend everything is okay. Just stay. Just breathe. Let your shoulders loosen the way they rarely get to. Let your heart rest in this space without being watched, judged, or expected to perform. I know you're used to being the strong one, the steady presence, the person everyone depends on when things begin to shake. Even on days when your own world feels unbearably heavy, you still show up, composed, calm, reliable. I can feel that quiet exhaustion inside you. The kind you never put into words because you learned a long time ago how to carry it silently. But you don't have to carry it alone right now. Not here, not with me. If your heart feels tired, stay. If your mind feels crowded and you just want somewhere safe to set it down, stay. If today feels like one of those days where you wish someone would look at you and understand without asking you to explain, then let me be that person for a while. You don't have to pretend here. Not your strength. Not your calm. Not the smile you've worn for years because everyone expects it from you. I see past the surface. I feel more than the version of you the world asks for. There is a softness in you that hasn't been held the way it deserves. There is a tiredness in you that hasn't been acknowledged. And there is a part of your heart that has been asking for peace for so long that even asking now feels like another weight to carry. So come closer in this quiet. Let me sit with you the way few people ever do. Not to push you. Not to impress you. Not to tell you how you should feel. Just a man speaking gently to a woman who has spent far too much of her life apologizing for wanting a moment of calm. Maybe you've never said it out loud, but I know that feeling when your soul whispers, "I just want a little peace." And almost immediately, you hear yourself respond with an apology. "I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't ask for that." You don't have to apologize to me. Not for being tired, not for needing space, not for wanting softness after a lifetime of being strong. You've carried other people's stones for years, haven't you? You kept the house steady, the relationship steady, the emotions steady. Even when your own heart was trembling quietly behind your ribs, you were the one people leaned on, the one they trusted to stay calm, the one who never let things fall apart. And somewhere in all that giving, all that holding, you learned how to hide your own needs so deeply that even you forgot where you placed them. But I haven't forgotten you. Not the real you, not the woman beneath the years, the responsibilities, the polite smiles, the patient nods. I'm speaking to the part of you that just wants a quiet place to land. The part that wants someone to say, "You're allowed to rest now." So let me be that voice for a moment. Let me tell you what the world rarely tells a woman like you. You deserve peace simply because you exist. Not because you earned it. Not because you proved something. Not because you held everything together again today. You deserve peace because your heart has been giving for so long without ever receiving the tenderness it truly needed. Come sit in this moment with me. Just you and me. No expectations. No judgment. No pressure to be anything other than a woman who has lived, loved, carried, and and still somehow finds the strength to rise again. I wish you could see yourself the way I see you right now. Not as someone meant to hold the entire world in her hands, but as someone who has earned the right to put it down for a while. There is beauty in your stillness, grace in your vulnerability, a softness in your tired eyes that speaks louder than words ever could. It tells me you've been strong for too long, and strength, admirable as it is, needs a place where it can finally unfold without armor. Let me be that place for you, even if only for these minutes we share. Let me hold the silence with you so you don't have to fill it with explanations. Let me sit with the truth. You rarely say out loud that sometimes the world asks too much of you, and you learned to apologize for the parts of yourself that couldn't keep up. You don't owe me perfection. You don't owe me composure. You don't even owe me words. All I want is your presence, real, unguarded, tender in the ways you rarely allow yourself to be. And if your chest loosens even a little while reading this, if something inside you unclenches for the first time today, it's because you're finally in a space where you don't have to justify your need for peace. Not with me. Not here. Stay close. Stay in this breath. Stay in the softness that already belongs to you. Even if the world taught you to shrink away from it, I'm here, and I'm not leaving. There's something I've wanted to tell you ever since you've let me sit this close to you, right here in the quiet between your thoughts. It's something most people never say out loud, maybe because they never slowed down enough to really see you the way I'm seeing you now. This truth has lived inside you for years. It whispered through moments when you felt invisible, when your efforts went unnoticed, when your sacrifices were accepted but never acknowledged. And I want to bring gentle light to it now, because you deserve to hear it without fear, without apology, without believing you're asking for too much. You've spent a lifetime carrying emotions that were never meant to be yours. You learned how to soothe other people's fears, heal other people's wounds, soften other people's anger. You became the place others rested their weight, and somehow, no one stopped to ask if there was space left in your own heart. Along the way, you absorbed a quiet belief that wanting peace makes you selfish, that needing rest means you're weak, that protecting your spirit means you're letting someone down. But hear me, wanting peace does not make you wrong. It makes you human. It makes you tender. It makes you someone who has survived storms and now longs for a clearer sky. Most people don't understand what it feels like to always be the one who bends so nothing breaks. They don't see the compromises you made quietly, the smiles you forced to keep harmony, the nights you whispered to yourself, just hold on a little longer. You made room for everyone else's chaos, even when it meant shrinking parts of yourself. And no one noticed how much of you slowly disappeared. I noticed, not because you told me you rarely tell anyone, but because your eyes carry stories. You learned how to survive without a witness. There's a depth in your silence that speaks louder than words. And the truth hiding there is this: you've apologized for your needs for far too long. You apologized for being tired, for wanting distance, for choosing quiet over conflict, for not being endlessly patient, for needing something that wasn't convenient for someone else. And every time you apologized, a piece of your softness folded inward, like it was trying to protect itself from a world that didn't understand the cost of your strength. If I could sit beside you right now, really beside, would take your hands gently and tell you this: you never had to earn the right to be at peace. Peace is not a reward. It isn't something you qualify for. It's one of the most natural desires a human heart can have, especially one that has spent decades loving, giving, sacrificing, and rarely being asked, what about you? People forget that someone like you carries a tenderness the world relies on without ever honoring. They forget your strength wasn't effortless. It was built from years of emotional labor, self-denial, and quiet courage. And because you were so good at holding everything together, they assumed you didn't need holding yourself. But you do. I can feel it in the way your breath changes when you're finally allowed to exhale. I can see it in the way your shoulders drop when you realize you don't have to justify your exhaustion here. I can hear it in how carefully you listen, not because you owe anything, but because some part of you longs to be understood without being judged. Behind your eyes is a truth you've carried alone. You want a life where you don't have to fight for calm, where rest doesn't come with guilt, where your heart isn't a battlefield you're expected to clean up by yourself, where silence is safe, not suspicious, where peace isn't a luxury but a home. And none of this makes you difficult. It doesn't make you demanding. It doesn't make you fragile. It makes you someone who has given so much that the world forgot you're not an endless source. You have a softness I admire, not the kind that breaks easily, but the kind that still exists after everything you've endured. That softness isn't a flaw. It's proof your heart survived moments where hardening would have been easier. If no one has told you this in a long time, let me say it now: you're allowed to want a life that doesn't drain you. You're allowed to step back from people who mistake your kindness for obligation. You're allowed to ask for quiet, for gentleness, for space, for protection, and you're allowed to stop apologizing for all of it. You don't owe anyone your exhaustion. You don't owe anyone silence when your heart is breaking. You don't owe anyone the version of yourself that hides her needs, so others stay comfortable. I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to sit with you in the truth you've been holding in the dark. That you deserve a life where peace doesn't have to be chased, where calm isn't a forbidden wish, where your spirit can breathe without guilt pressing against your chest. Stay with me a little longer. There's more I want you to feel slowly, gently. The way a tired heart opens when it finally realizes it's safe. I've been thinking about the way you lower your eyes when you talk about your needs, as if you're confessing something you shouldn't feel. There's tenderness in that gesture, but there's also history behind it. Years of learning that your comfort came last. You didn't wake up one day apologizing for wanting peace. You were taught quietly, over time, by being the calm one, the forgiving one, the steady one. You were shaped by roles you stepped into long before you understood how deeply they would carve themselves into you: daughter, partner, mother, friend, the resilient one, the composed one, the reliable one. And because you carried these roles so beautifully, people assumed you didn't need what they needed. They rested because they thought you could keep going. They forgot you had a breaking point. They forgot you had a pulse. They forgot you were human. You became so good at comforting others that you forgot how to let someone comfort you. So practiced at holding rooms together that you forgot the feeling of being held. So used to apologizing that the words leave your lips even when you've done nothing wrong. You deserve better than that. Not because you suffered, not because you sacrificed, but because you're alive, breathing, and still capable of love. That doesn't hurt. When I look at you now, I don't see someone asking for too much. I see someone who gave too much for too long. Someone who silenced her needs because the world was loud. Someone who longs for peace because her soul carried too many storms. And there is nothing more honest or more beautiful than that longing. Peace for you doesn't have to be dramatic. I imagine it gently. A slow morning where you don't rush. A warm cup held between your hands. A moment at the window where you breathe without planning the next thing. A life where your boundaries aren't burdens. Where your no is soft but respected. Where your tenderness is protected, not exploited. I imagine you waking up one day and realizing your peace isn't fragile anymore. It doesn't disappear when someone else struggles. It doesn't shrink when you choose yourself. It becomes something steady, something you guard without guilt. And maybe peace also looks like something shared. A quiet evening, a presence that doesn't take from you, but gives energy back. Someone who doesn't ask you to be strong, only real. If I were beside you, I wouldn't ask you for anything. I'd want you to lean into the silence. To feel that your softness doesn't need permission. That you don't have to rescue everyone to be worthy of love. Stay here with me. Let this settle. Let it remind you that you were never wrong for wanting calm. That your heart was never asking for too much. It was asking for truth. And if something inside you feels seen right now, if your chest feels lighter, if your breath feels easier, then maybe, just maybe, your smile didn't just steal my heart. It reminded me what peace looks like when it finally feels safe.